Flat rides come in all different shapes and sizes. You have spinning rides, you have swinging rides, you have flipping rides, and some rides that combine all these motions. Some are themed, some are indoors, and some are even atop skyscrapers. In this video, I will rank the top 25 flat rides that I have personally ridden at amusement parks and carnivals. Before starting, I want to note that I am excluding drop towers from this list. I consider drop towers flat rides, but I love them so much that they would dominate this list. For this reason, I made a separate video ranking my top 25 favorite drop towers. Number 25, Beast at Pavilion Park. This is a KMG XXL supersized frisbee that offers inward and outward facing seats. If you want the craziest experience, ride in the outward facing seats. You will get some powerful and freaky laterals throughout the ride. These laterals are pushing you outwards against the restraint, and at the same time, you also get good airtime on the max swings. By the end of the ride, my legs were completely numb from being pinned against the restraint. I have a separate review on this ride if you want more detail. Number 24, Chance Zippers. My favorite flat ride as a kid, I love the chaotic nature of zippers. I love how this ride is different each time, which gives it a lot of re-ride value. There is nothing quite like performing multiple front flips or back flips while simultaneously diving towards the ground, and these usually have really long cycles. Number 23, Twin Flip at North American Midway. It takes a Herculean effort to get me dizzy, but this ride did it. It messed up my equilibrium. If you've ever been on an orbiter, you know how fast those things rotate. Now add in flipping vehicles, this essentially was what Twin Flip was. Sometimes the ride offered multiple flips in rapid fire succession, at other points it held you upside down like an inverted scrambler. Halfway through the ride the seats locked and the ride sped right back up and induced some of the most powerful laterals I've experienced on a ride. Number 22, It at Maury's Piers. The restraints are what make this ride special. Every other frisbee I've ridden has over-the-shoulder restraints. It has just lap bars. While frisbee rides don't have any headbanging, the added freedom from the lap bars was fantastic, and it made the airtime feel that much more pronounced. Add in a very long cycle, and this ride gives as much airtime as any flat ride out there. Number 21, Talocan Phantasialand. This is easily the world's best topspin. Let's start with the theming. The ride is boxed in by a series of hieroglyphic walls that will throw off your equilibrium. And then you also have water and fire effects. The main cycle is also better than any other top spin I've ridden. You have 3 different points where you perform 4 to 5 consecutive flips, and the compactness of those flips really piles on the G's. Number 20, Astrosphere at Funtown, U.S.A. This is an indoor scrambler that's actually one of the slower scramblers out there, so why is it on this list? The music and light show is so amazing that would be an attraction on its own. Funtown's operators have the ability to conduct their own show with lasers, strobes, lights, and projections, all to the wonderful ELO's Fire on High. Number 19, X-Scream at the Stratosphere Tower. This is probably the weakest ride in this list in terms of sensations. In fact, I think this is a kiddie ride, but the placement is what makes it special. I cannot tell you how nerve-wracking it is to dive over the edge of a building 900 feet above the Las Vegas Strip. And what makes it even freakier is that the brakes on the vehicle are behind the riders, so the track disappears and it feels like you will plummet to your death each time. Make sure to ride in the front row for the best view. Number 18, Flip Fly at Oktoberfest. This is an inverting frisbee ride with a twist. Literally. The initial swings give ejector airtime, but then the ride starts doing complete 360 inversions. You invert a bit too quickly to get any hang time, but the positive G's in the downswings felt like they'd rip my legs off. After 3 or so minutes of rocking and inverting, the seats unlock and they started flipping like a zipper cage. The flipping did not last long, but it was extremely disorienting, and made the positive G's in the downswing even wilder because you didn't know what orientation you'd experienced them in. Number 17, Loke Liseberg. Intamin's take on a giant frisbee is fantastic. The ride has the same over-the-shoulder restraints as Lex Luthor or Zumanjaro, so you feel even more exposed than most frisbee rides. This one has a very long cycle with 8 or so max swings, each offering a few seconds of sustained floater airtime. And each of those swings offered a gorgeous view of Liseberg and downtown Gothenburg. Number 16, Conestoga at Lake Winnepesaukah. Most flying carpet rides give modest airtime at best. This one gives sustained floater airtime. And you have just a lap bar that rests a good foot above your lap with no seatbelt. So essentially you get 4 to 5 seconds of sustained airtime with just a buzz bar on each rotation. The downside is it has a painfully short cycle with just 3 max rotations, but that glorious sustained airtime kept me coming back. Number 15. Gerstlauer Sky Rollers. There is a caveat here, it has to be the newer ones. The ones built before 2015 are harder to flip, and they do not sustain the flips like the newer ones. Meanwhile, if you have the correct rhythm on the ones built after 2015, you're able to get 50 to 60 consecutive flips on one ride, and those flips are fast and furious. Number 14. Squadron 33 at Playland's Castaway Cove. Technical Park's version of the Gerstlauer Sky Roller has a few advantages. 1. It's easier to invert. 2. The ride has a more diverse range of sensations. While the flips in the Sky Rollers are homogeneous, Squadron 33 has fast, forceful flips at the bottom, and more drawn-out hang-time filled flips at the top for a variety. Number 13. Equinox at Canobie Lake Park. I was only able to ride the ill-fated and problematic Equinox at Canobie once, but it was a crazy experience. This KMG Tango had a stand-up, floorless riding position similar to the Intamin drop towers, and that was combined with a disorienting program consisting of spinning, inverting, and flipping. Number 12. Tik Tak at Tivoli Gardens. This is a mondial shake, which is basically a hoose breakdance that inverts instead of flipping. You alternate between violent rocking and long, drawn-out flips. That alone made Tik Tak disorienting, but it's also one of the most visually stunning flats I've ever seen. The roof is this fancy clock, and the ride is accompanied by lights and fog. It's a complete sensory overload. Number 11. Shake on the European Fair Circuit. This is another mondial shake. It's not a looker, but it ran an even crazier program than the one at Tivoli Gardens. We had the same drawn-out flips, but the violent rocking was replaced by rapid-fire flips that made this one even more dizzying. Number 11. Dancer on the European Fair Circuit. I never knew a hoose breakdance could be operated as fast as this. This spinning combined with violent whipping was pure bliss. At its max speed, the G's were so intense that I pushed the skin back on my cheeks like Top Thrill Dragster's launch. Not only were the forces dizzying, but the ride had a long cycle that lasted 2 full songs. Number 9. Waltzer at South Pier in Blackpool. At first, this looks like just an enclosed, newer generation tilt-a-whirl, but this is run by an insane operator. I'm pretty sure his goal was to make everyone on the ride sick. The max speed in this ride far exceeds any tilt-a-whirl out there. Plus, the operators stand on the ride platform, manually pushing the vehicles to get them spin even faster. You know those rapid-fire full spins you get in tilt-a-whirls? Waltzer did that, except the sustained spin was held for 5 to 6 consecutive rotations. The force from those spins was so intense that the centripetal force actually started to lift me out of my seat, so I got this bizarre airtime in the middle of spinning. Along with that spinning, the ride also had a ridiculously long cycle, roughly 8 minutes in length. Number 8. Nothing But Net at Zero Gravity. I was torn where to rank this ride. It is the scariest ride I've ever experienced, and the drop is the best pure freefall I've ever found. You drop 16 stories with no cables or bungees. It is a free drop into a net. But that impact is not smooth, and I actually got injured on my last ride since I accidentally lost control of my legs on the way down. I have a separate review that goes into more detail, but I do have to admire this ride's sheer adrenaline rush. Number 7. SkyCoaster at Fun Spot Kissimmee. The world's tallest SkyCoaster ruined the other ones for me. You can absolutely feel the extra height in this one. Not only is the view more impressive, but the drop feels significantly longer. Plunging towards the ground head first in a true freefall is magical, and at the last second you'll start pulling up so you can pose like Superman. Number 6. Vertigo at Tivoli Gardens. One of the few technical park flying fury rides out there, Vertigo is intense. You could make an argument it's the most intense ride in the world. At its top speed, it sustains 5 Gs. Most coasters only hit Gs like that for an instant, so you're almost guaranteed to start graying out in Vertigo because of how long these Gs are sustained. But both before and after these fast rotations, you have slower ones where the vehicle will spin to give you some wonderful hang time and views of downtown Copenhagen. I have a separate review in this ride as well if you're interested in more information. Number 5. The Voo Doo Jumper at Oktoberfest. This ride is a wild ride on its own. The ride offers some forceful spinning as the ride's arms and individual vehicles spin simultaneously. And you also get a ton of quick pops of airtime as the arms also bounce. But what elevates this ride into the top 5 is the presentation. The ride has bright lights, fog, fire, and booming music, which makes this ride, that's already disorienting on its own, even crazier. Oh, and the average cycle for this ride was nearly 7 minutes in length. Number 4. Flyer at Knoebels. Flying scooters look innocent at first, but they can become some of the most intense rides in the world if you snap them. This is when you intentionally cause slack in the cable, and when the cable relieves itself, it will snap and erratically fling the tug. It feels about as close as you can get to dying on an amusement ride, and the adrenaline rush is addictive. Flyer at Knoebels is one of the easiest ones in the world to snap because of the fast speed and the rudder's extreme range of motion. The park has cracked down on snapping lately, so you may not be able to snap with the frequency I'm showing on the screen, but if you can, it's an experience you won't soon forget. Number 3. Flying Aces at Lagoon. These flying scooters run just as fast as the one at Knoebels, and the cycle is just as long. But the difference is that during my one visit to Lagoon, snapping was not being discouraged by the operators, which allowed myself and others to bounce about uncontrollably. Number 2. Skater at Oktoberfest. This was my first top scan not at a Cedar Fair park, and it opened my eyes to what these rides could do when operated by a carny. If you're familiar with top scans, you know that these rides have a wide range of motion. This one was run extremely fast, and as the gondola spun, the laterals felt like they would rip my legs off, and that was combined with the sudden, random, and forceful flipping that reminded me of a zipper. Only here, I was out in the open instead of being locked in a cage. And you also had a lot of near misses with the ground and the ride's arm. Add in a long cycle that traveled both forwards and backwards, and you have a ride that will destroy anyone's sense of direction. And coming in at number 1 is the Mountain Monster in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I have yet to ride the amazing looking pterodactyl ride in Colorado, but this is the same ride system perched atop a 200-foot tower. First, you ride atop the tower with some corny elevator music playing. Then you transfer into a separate ride vehicle for the main part of the ride. You're tilted towards the ground, and then you're launched right at it. The descent felt like you're being launched into a SkyCoaster drop. The visual of barreling towards the ground was terrifying on its own, especially because the minimalistic straps feel a lot less secure than the flight suit you wear in a SkyCoaster. You are then hoisted back up atop the tower, transferred into the gondola which you rode up, and then you have an intense 20-story drop to the ground. The freefall sensation was among the best of any drop tower, especially because you're descending through the scaffolding of the tower. Now, I know I said I wouldn't include drop towers in this list, but Mountain Monster is so much more than just a drop tower. But I would be lying if I said that wasn't one of the reasons it claimed the top spot in this list, because you essentially get 2 thrilling rides in one. So those are my top 25 favorite flat rides in the world. What are your favorite flats? I would love to hear down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a like and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canobie Coaster. Thanks for watching.